तो कह रहे कि भाई बाबूजी
जा
बाबूजी
सिमरन
मुझे
जा।
छोड़ दो। जा
हाँ,
सिमरन जा वाला फेज आया फिर उसके बाद प्रोग्रेस होते होते बोलते ना कि अब एट प्रेजेंट ये सिचुएशन में तो अब पूरा ये लव अब कुछ
हम्म,
चलो साइड में छोड़ दो और हम पूरे वेस्टर्न जो कल्चर है उससे इन्फ्लुएंस होंगे और हम लस्ट
राइट
को एनकरेज करेंगे और जो भी बोलते हैं ना कि
या
क्या बोल सकते हैं इसको कि
राइट
न्यूडिटी को प्रमोट करेंगे, गंदगी को प्रमोट करेंगे और इसको नॉर्मलाइज करेंगे ताकि ये जो जनरेशन
हाँ
है ये तो उसमें इंटरेस्टेड है डूइंग ऑल लाइक वॉचिंग एंड
राइट
डूइंग ऑल सॉर्ट्स ऑफ नेगेटिव थिंग्स उस पर इन्फ्लुएंस है तो हमको हमारे मूवीज से
करेक्ट
बिजनेस होना है वी वांट टू बी एबल टू मेक मनी आउट ऑफ दिस मूवीज तो हम ये ही करेंगे और हम हमारी
हम्म
यूथ को बर्बाद करेंगे और इससे बर्बादी तो
राइट
बहुत हो रही है ऑलरेडी ठीक है ये
राइट
इसका जॉनरा हो गया राइट अगर हम फिर इस पे इसके बाद अगर मूव ऑन होंगे दूसरे जॉनरा पे हम बात करेंगे
हम्म
क्रिमिनल मूवीज की
very interesting topic.
कितनी सीरियस है मूवी है
I remember the day when you suggested me to watch Purge. Purge, of course, you know how
राइट
scary a movie it is. I mean,
क्रेजी मूवी मैन
scary,
स्केरी मूवी
scariest of
मैन
them all.
या
Because,
या
like,
राइट
it didn't have any ghosts in it, it didn't have any spirits,
या
it didn't have any
राइट
paranormal activities, but the kind of message that it gives to society. I mean, one day all the laws are demolished and you are allowed to do all crimes
एवरीथिंग इज
for
डन
24 hours.
एनीथिंग
And the main motto of
एनीथिंग
behind making this movie was to reduce the crime rate. I mean, how can someone reduce crime rate by allowing them to do anything for 24 hours? That is something that
राइट the way the mayor
right,
puts out the message. He
right.
was the mayor of Staten Island, and I
Wow.
was in
Yeah,
New York
yeah,
at
I
that time.
remember.
And
I
Staten,
remember.
yeah, New York is actually an island, and it is surrounded by Long Island, and then it's New York,
Okay.
then it's Staten Island. So this is the story that takes
Wow.
place in Staten Island.
Right.
So in New York. So what happened? Like the motive of that mayor was to get rid of the population because he wasn't able to manage the
Acha.
expenses and all that things that comes along with it. So he was trying to get rid of people, but he said that if I leave everyone open and let them do anything they want, like kill everybody, shoot anybody, there's no rules, no regulations, you won't be like called out for anything, like you won't be held accountable for killing someone. And drugs are illegal, partying is legal, everything is legal on that night. So do whatever you want. तो हुआ ये था कि वो लोग के अंदर जो अग्रेशन था
Right.
तो मारम तोड़ी इंसान के अंदर इतनी आ गई देन दे शोड दैट पार्ट ऑफ
Hmm.
वाइट सुप्रीमेसी तो वो बंदे आते हैं और धन 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 सबको उड़ा देते हैं तो वो प्लान था कि मतलब हमको मारना है इतने सारे लोग को ताकि हम पॉपुलेशन से बोलते ना कम हो गए हमारी पॉपुलेशन
Correct.
ओवर
Correct.
पॉपुलेटेड जो हो गया स्टेट आइलैंड वो कंट्रोल में आ जाए और हमारे फाइनेंसेस जो है
Right.
एक प्रॉपर
That's
ऑर्डर में
that's. I
चले
mean,
बोल के
that's the goal of.
Right. So I was saying actually what I
Mm-hmm.
felt after watching this movie. I
Mm-hmm.
and my friend John, we both
Mm-hmm.
were watching this movie together, and there was like literally nobody in that
Acha.
theater. Yeah, the theater was
Okay.
just close to my house, so it was like a seasonal, occasional theater. So they open by themselves whenever
Okay.
they want, and they just close. And they had like
Acha.
timings which they never followed.
And they
So
were running purge
we
in that
watched that.
theater more.
Yeah, they were running. They
Okay.
run all the major movies that come
Okay.
over there, except from Bollywood movies. So I watched that movie. As soon as I came out, I saw all these
Wow,
people around me,
man.
man. And by seeing these people, I started feeling
Right.
like I was scared
Of
to
course.
see all these people, and I was thinking that someone might just come from somewhere and
Right.
just they will start hitting me because I see all that when I see all
Right.
these white faces, and I am thinking to myself like, oh my god,
Of course.
I'm in trouble right now, and I felt that for like whole
Man.
one day, like seriously,
Because
man. So that's the influence
right,
that
right,
these
right.
movies leaves us
100%
with.
agreed.
Yeah,
Because even you suggested me to watch. I was watching it on night. You remember one
right.
scene where she closes the door, she locks. Like they have the best security system ever, but still these people manages to break
Yeah,
through.
yeah, because they dispatch the
Right.
armed forces and everybody, and they are just
Correct.
breaking into buildings
I
and
was
just killing everybody. So the
right.
government is
I was
involved in
scared that
this,
one day, this thing is something that might happen. Imagine one day.
right? It has happened, man. I don't want to
Really?
mention, but it has happened already. Yeah, it has
Uh,
happened in
yeah.
our country.
Yeah.
So. It's serious.
Imagine one day
Yeah, I don't want to mention that.
Donald Trump come and say like you imitates him well.
No, I don't want to
That's
do that
Swami
today, bro. Yeah,
Vivekanand.
it will be a part of
Right.
cringe content. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was
Oh, you're
saying
saying something. I want you to do
like
that again.
Swami Vivekanand.
Mununde.
Man,
That was one of the craziest
absolutely.
speeches that he ever
So yeah,
delivered, bro.
right,
He's a
absolutely. I
clown,
mean, there
seriously.
can be a one day where he comes because he's something that is unpredictable. His nature is unpredictable. He might come and one day and might say that you're all allowed to do this and do that.
Yeah,
Right.
just do that, and everybody's free to do
Correct.
whatever they want. Just go out and kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
Man,
bye bye. That's it,
man, you
man.
nailed it. So yeah, of course, that is something that we could definitely something that is we could expect in future. So yeah, even not that the thing that you pointed out that the elites they are the ones who does these kind of stuff. Even the motive
Right, right.
of
We'll
course,
bring
but
up
that's
that
a very
topic
big
some other
topic. It
day. Yeah,
requires
yeah.
whole
Right. And coming back to Bollywood, we also have like so many crimes influenced by these kind of movies. Like we had Shootout at
Padala.
Lokhandwala, Shootout at Vadala, and Once Upon a Time in Mumbai. These were great movies, but they led to
Right,
consequences in the society. Then this movie came, which portrayed the lives of people in UP. It's called
right.
Gangs of Wasseypur. You know about it. Everybody knows about it. So this movie also had some serious stuff in it, like
Hmm.
killing and getting glorified. और फिर वास्तव मैन वास्तव was seriously glorifying a criminal. और फिर मूवी देख के आने के बाद लाइक अपन तो संजय दत्त है भाई, अपन कुछ भी
Right,
बोलेगा 50 16 वो लाइक ये जो इन्फ्लुएंस है ना इंसान को इतना डीपली इफेक्ट करता है, ही स्टार्ट्स डूइंग दैट. और सेलिब्रिटीज यूजुअली जब ये अप्रिसिएशन को फेस करने की बात आती और
right.
अप्रिसिएशन लेने की बात आती तो एवरीबडी जंप्स इन. What happens when they
I
have to
mean,
face the
you
negativity?
might have heard recent interview of Shahid Kapoor when he was
Right.
asked a question on
Mm.
Kabir Singh. I mean, whether he takes the responsibility of. No, it has shown a very negative side of a male's personality. I mean, he drinks in that, he beats a woman, and he does all sorts of negative stuff. When,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uses women,
uses drugs and
uses
all.
drugs, does all kind of negative things that one should not be
Correct,
doing. So he
correct,
does everything basically, and he's promoting
absolutely.
anger, aggression. And when the question is
Right.
asked, what does
When
he
it
say?
comes to takes the responsibility of that thing, like in an interview, he was asked that question. He said a very interesting thing actually. He said the
Hmm.
audiences should be mature enough to understand the message of a movie. Like he
Oh,
wasn't ready to take the responsibility. I mean, if a movie is doing good, if it's
he did
yeah,
not
no,
say
no,
that, bro. Did he say
yeah, he
that
said
like
that. Not
literally?
only Shahid Kapoor, but there are some other actors as well. Like when they make such movies, they are just put
Yeah.
all the blame.
Yeah, even I read one of the article
Right,
about Walk-in Phoenix and the whole cast of Joker. They were invited for an interview, and they were asked like, "What do you have to say about the negative
right,
impact of your movie on the society?" Because you said that you have addressed
correct,
all the mental issues and all that thing. Okay, understandable. Okay, सोसाइटी क्रिमिनल्स को बनाती है. सोसाइटी में क्रिमिनल्स कैसा बनते हैं, एक्सट्रीमिस्ट कैसा बनते हैं कि
right,
सोसाइटी वाले मारते हैं उसको. देन दीज टाइप ऑफ पीपल कम, लाइक वी गिव बर्थ टू दिस काइंड ऑफ पीपल. लेकिन he had the same kind of
right,
explanation for that. He said that audiences should be mature enough
right,
to judge and to take what's positive and leave what's
right.
negative inside the theater. Like, what
I,
kind
I,
of
I,
explanation
I
is that?
believe that fiction, to some extent, if it's not involving civilians, then of course it's is an art. Of course, people will appreciate it.
Right.
You show the gangster killing gangsters and doing all those stuff. But when it comes to civilians, like Joker has showed that he by himself inspires the whole city, the whole Gotham City.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
So they
Gotham
do
City.
all sorts of crimes. They do the murders. They spread mischief on land. They do all sorts of crimes, and
Hmm.
that is something that is being glorified. And Joker is one movie that we
Right.
were really excited to watch. I mean, it's one of like creatively
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
very insane movie. The kind of acting that it did, acting wise, portraying the character is something that we cannot question. Like it was very very high standards. But when it comes to the message of
Right.
the movie, the kind of influence that it had on society, something to be worried on. Because when Batman released, the Joker, the character got famous from there. Um,
Right.
right.
The comics and
Inspired by
everything
that
that they had to
character, a shooting incident took place in Colorado at that point of time. So, right, he dressed
during Batman.
himself as a Joker and he had that kind of smile on his face and just
Hmm.
went and
Hmm.
shooted people. So when the police department came to know that a movie like Joker is on the verge of its release, they were quite tensed about it. At the same time, they were stressing a lot on the
Right.
point.
Hmm. Yeah, because they don't want to have
Correct, correct.
that to happen
Because
again. Yeah,
these kind of
that's true.
movies have a lot of impact on people. They might be a psychopath in the theater who's watching the movie and get inspired and do all sorts of mischief stuff in the
Right.
theater itself.
Hmm.
I mean, you have experienced this
Right.
when it comes to Kabir Singh. I think you might have to share that.
Right. I have experienced basically everything because when I was in US, I was living in Bronx when I was working with
Right,
that hotel that I mentioned about. And on the streets, I have
right,
seen like gun violence. I have seen a
right.
cop
The
getting
the
killed,
example
man.
that you've
Yeah, it's basically Bronx is all about
right,
hoods and all these people partying and all that crazy stuff, drugs. And I was living in, very, very
right.
extreme situations
Mhm,
around me because that's all I did was just because of that job because uh, the owner of
mhm.
that business, he actually appreciated me for my work and he like offered me
Right.
serious benefits during that time. So all I did was like literally wanted to leave that company because the only reason I stayed with that company was
Oh,
of that person, and he
right,
knows that if
man.
he's listening. So yeah, but coming back to what I was saying,
Right,
what we were discussing is, think about this, like
right.
इतना बड़ा platform है, we all are creative, and we are creative to such an extent that we can influence people, we can make people act and move and do everything in their lives according
Correct.
to how we want, because that's the power of media. So agar ye situation mein, if everybody starts thinking that if I
Hmm.
use my art form, okay, no matter what I show in the first like 40 minutes or 1
Correct.
hour 40 minutes of the movie, लेकिन लास्ट जो 15 मिनट होंगे, I will end
Positive,
that
yeah.
movie on a
Inspirational. Hmm.
inspirational and positive note, जहाँ से ये सीरियस जो एक्सट्रीम कल्चर्स है वहाँ से मैं ये मतलब पूरे सब निकाल दूंगा और एक पॉजिटिव इन्फ्लुएंस लाने की कोशिश करूंगा सोसाइटी में
Hmm.
और पॉजिटिविटी लाऊंगा. तो डोंट यू थिंक देयर विल बी अ डिफरेंस इन द सोसाइटी. एंड ऑल्सो आई वांटेड टू से दिस के ये हो सकता,
Right.
ये सीरियसली हो सकता.
Of course, 100% agreed. Because they are still very good filmmakers. They are always, looking for stories that inspires people. जो भी real life based stories रहते हैं, that inspires majority of the people, not only just in India but worldwide. So there are people who are still focused on bringing that good change in society, bringing that positive energy, positive vibes when it comes to
Right.
getting that unity together. I mean, in today's world, we have seen.
Hmm.
Mm,
So listen to this. If everybody, like we have
right,
10% of filmmakers that who are focusing more on this, like creating content that to inspire population, like everybody, suppose
right,
everybody comes along, not they have to just meet and greet everybody and do all that stuff, but on their own personal level, if they think that I have to do something to
hmm,
make the society better, and if they start producing movies
right.
according to that pattern, then there will be certainly
Absolutely,
a positive
absolutely.
change, and that will happen because we are in no situation that ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता, because we don't encourage
Correct.
watching movies. पहली चीज तो ये है.
Right,
We should have mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but लेकिन movies अब
right,
दुनिया से जा तो नहीं सकते. इंस्टेड ऐसा होने वाला है कि एंटरटेनमेंट विल बी
right,
एट इट्स पीक, एट इट्स बूम इन द कमिंग ईयर्स, जो ऑलरेडी हो गया है. तो ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता कि मूवीज विल वैनिश फ्रॉम
correct.
द फेस ऑफ द अर्थ, ऐसा तो कभी होने वाला नहीं है. मूवीज रहने वाले हैं, लेकिन जो क्रिएटर्स है, if they will be responsible and take responsibility of it, then we will be having some,
Right.
great
Of course, of course.
changes around us. We can see great
Movies are
influence
just
around
like a
us.
source of entertainment to people. Like my suggestion to people would be, rather than watching movies, try to read books. I mean, it's much more
Right. Yeah, that's and which one that you suggest, like
non-fiction,
fiction or
100%. Because
non-fiction?
I used to read
Yeah.
fiction a lot, but it improves your thinking and
When you are a kid, you are
right,
usually inclined towards
correct,
reading fiction
right.
books. Then, as you grow up, then you move
Right, we
towards
have got
the
very
non-fiction.
great writers to look on. Like if we are trying to read books, like we've got many great writers and many great authors as well. So try to read books. This is something that it's like watering your brain. I mean, just how you waters a plant, it's like watering your brain.
Right.
You all sorts of ideas starts to kick in, and your creativity will improve, and you'll obviously try to change yourself depending on that book. Because when you read a book, that's something that go keeps going on in your subconscious mind, and
Hmm. And books are basically a person has lived his life for
correct,
suppose say 70 years, and he just squishes and squeezes everything, like all his
right,
experience, into that one book. And you are basically
years of
having
experience in
70 years of
200 pages.
experience in your hand. So that's
Correct,
something great
correct.
about the
Right,
books,
absolutely,
not the movies,
absolutely,
about the books.
absolutely, 100%
Yeah,
agreed. And yep, with that, we'll definitely cover
I
all the
think we
topics.
have covered
Yeah,
all the topics we were supposed to cover. So any
yeah. I,
final
I just
thoughts on
have one
this?
message for people, like those who are watching. Just try to be yourself. Try to bring that positive change. I know that deep down, everyone has that thing in them because, like, let me just give you an example. Like, if he stops stealing and start doing good things, he'll eventually become a good man. So there's nothing like a good
Right,
man or a bad man. It's just the kind of deeds that we do make us look that way in the society. So if you start
right.
doing positive things, of course you'll become a good human being, and if you start doing bad things, of course you'll become a bad human being. So just try to, it's just within us. So just try to bring that positive change, help people. Don't start recording videos when someone's struggling, someone's having, if an accident occurs or anything of that sort happens. Just try to, yeah,
Yeah, help
be a
people.
helping hand,
Right.
and yeah, that's what I would pretty much say.
Yeah, long
Be
story
positive.
short, just be positive, help people around you, take responsibility of
Correct.
every act that you're doing.
Yeah, with that being
And I
said,
guess that's it.
see you in the next
All
episode.
right. Bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
See you in next
Bye, bro.
episode. All right.